Today's a good day. What is this? I got a piece of gear that I really love and I want to share it with you. It's called the Line 6 HX Stomp. Line 6 HX Stomp. Got it. I love this piece of gear for many reasons. I haven't had it very long, but I'm really digging it. I keep it in this box because I don't have a case for it yet. But there it is, there it is. Line 6 HX Stomp. Looking good. Instructions. I don't need that. But there's several reasons why I like this product. And I want to get into those in this video, so yeah, let's dig in. There's been a lot of good talk about this piece of gear, and so I want to go to line6.com to see some details about it. HX Stomp Step Beyond is a professional grade guitar processor that delivers the sound of helix, amps, cabs, and effects in an ultra compact pedal. Very small. Whether you prefer to play through a traditional amp and pedal setup or go direct on stage in the studio, HX Stomp seamlessly integrates into a variety of environments and application, utilizing the same DSP, I don't even know what that is, in HX modeling technology. I think that's the processor. As its bigger helix brethren, the HX Stomp guitar pedal nonetheless fits easily onto your pedal board or even in the pocket of your gig bag. There are over 300 amps, cabs, and effects, including a looper. HX Stomp contains all the same HX models found in the Helix family products, as well as legacy effects library from blah, 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 blah. So the reason I love the HX Stomp is because recently I had a kidney transplant, and even more recently I had to go back and have another surgery to repair a hernia that I had acquired. The byproduct of these surgeries is that I can't lift more than 5 to 10 pounds, and if you know anything about gear and pedals, they are heavy. So my pedal board is not a huge pedal board, but it's made of solid, rich mahogany. Right here, somebody.
Good morning. It's kind of cute.
Mr. Mark. That was my boss. Anyways, great piece of gear. I had a transplant. I think I was just saying that. Can't lift more than 5 to 10 pounds. Oh yeah, I already said all that. Oh, my pedal board, which I will do a demo of because I love the board. I got like 6 pedals on there, so not a lot. But with the case and everything, I have never weighed it, but it's like at least 75 pounds, maybe 50. I don't know, I'm just guessing at this point. And then my amp, I have a HM18 Tyler amp, which is their small amp, but it's heavy. Tube amps are heavy. That's why this thing is good for me. It's lightweight, and that's the main reason I got it, because I can literally use this as an all-in-one rig, and I'll turn it on later and I'll show you some of the stuff it has in it. But you're allowed to have 6 blocks, which means that you can have 6 things that you choose to put in here. If you want to run this as an all-in-one pedal board, you can have 6 items. 6 items. I have an amp and a cab combo into one block, so now I have 5 left. Then I use a compressor, a boost, always on reverb, a delay, a very ambient reverb, and that's all my 6 pedals. And I use these 3 pedals to toggle on my ambient reverb, my delay, and my boost. And everything else I usually just leave on all the time. It really works for me. I've literally only played with the Stomp live one time, but I was very impressed, got some great tones out of it. Still got some tweaking to do. A lot of talk of IRs, which stands for, what does it stand for? Impulse response. It's supposed to make your amp sound even more amp-like. But one of the drawbacks is there's only 3 switches. And if you have 6 blocks, you might want to have more switches, especially if you choose to run through your existing amp, which I love my amp, so that's something I'm gonna be doing in the future. That's another block I can use for another effect. In order to do that, I recently got this. What this does is gives you 2 extra pedals, TRS cable, which I haven't even opened yet because I just got these in the mail. basically you just hook it up like this. There's a series of different kinds of inputs. It says expression 1, 2, which you can put in an expression pedal, or FS, which stands for foot switch 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hook it up here, and you're ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it up so you can see what it does. There are never enough power switches when you need them. So you basically just have a power cord, USB to hook up to your computer, because it comes with a software called HX Edit. You can manipulate all your sounds ahead of time and plug in your BPMs, which is another issue. Maybe I'll talk about that in this video. I should. There's one problem I've had with the HX Stomp and how I want to run it. And a lot of people don't seem to have the same issue, so I guess people's workflow as far as gearing up for the weekend is not the same as mine. But there's something that's very important for me, and I'll get to that in a second. Also, the next thing that's good about the Stomp is that you can practice in the quiet of your own home using one of these 1/8" headphone jack into 1/4", which plugs it into the pedal, and you can use your in-ears to practice with. Boom. So when I used this live the other day, I was able to go through and set each song as a preset, and I can scroll through like this and go to, oh, that's my main preset. I copy and pasted. We did Great Things, we did Jesus We Love You, and There Is a Fountain. And I copy and pasted my same preset because I like my guitar tone to stay exactly the same. And then I just tweaked my settings. Click on a song, push view, and now you can see the 6 blocks. This is another cool feature, is that you want to adjust the parameters of each block. You can just touch. You see as I touch the pedal, sorry, I have to look in the viewfinder. No, I do not. Like right now, it's on, it just jumped to that pedal. And now the middle one is my reverb, so now the block is going to, when I touch it, boom. And I can easily use these 3 knobs as the control the parameters. And my delay, I'm gonna touch this one, boom, it went to the delay. Anyways, very good for adjusting parameters on the fly. One thing I noticed is that sometimes you're adjusting parameters on one setting, and then it's very easy to accidentally, especially in a live setting, touch, like if I'm adjusting this one, to accidentally touch the middle one, and all of a sudden I'm manipulating parameters on a pedal I didn't mean to. You just have to be very careful. So there's one issue with this, is that all of the modulated settings like reverbs and delays all are notated, if that's the right word, in milliseconds instead of BPM, and that doesn't work for me. So as you can see here, it says time 1/8. You click on it, it shows 801 milliseconds. 801 milliseconds. I don't even know what that is. We usually set our songs to BPM, which I think is what is normal. So I don't know why they go with milliseconds. I don't know who uses that. I am not familiar with why milliseconds is the go-to measurement for delay time, BPM. And so there is a way to adjust BPM and set your BPM ahead of time. Here's my workflow. On my regular pedal board, I have this Strymon timeline, and I like to go in and save a preset for each song. That way you can just scroll up, song 1, song 2, 3, 4, we usually do 4 songs. What I do is I set what kind of delay I want, whether it's 1/4 or 1/8 or dotted 1/8 or a mixture of both. I can just click on that one song, and I have the sound for that song. If there's 2 different sounds I want, I can just make 2 separate presets. But one of the main things I like doing is setting my BPM ahead of time so I don't have to worry about tapping on the fly, because I don't know about you, but I can't tap on the fly and get exactly the BPM like I need it. And for real washy sounds, that's no big deal, but for like a dotted 1/8 where you gotta tick it on the same BPM as everything else is going on, you gotta be right on. The way the Stomp is set up is that you have 2 foot switches, and this one is set up to a tap tempo. And you can tap, and I'm like, well, I don't want a tap tempo, I wanna be able to have 3 different foot switches. But here's the benefit of using a tap tempo, is that when it's set to tap tempo, even if you don't want to use it that way, you can hold and you're able to adjust the BPM for that song and save it. But you have to have this set to tap tempo, which for me, which I just got this, so it kind of solved the problem. But if you don't want to carry around extra gear, because one of the benefits of getting the HX Stomp is that it's all one item. You don't have to worry about patch cables and different pedals going down or breaking or whatever, and you don't have to carry around a bunch of gear. Even though this is not that big, it's still just a little bit more setup. One of the benefits of having this is that it's just plug in, ready to go. So I want to be able to have 5 foot switches, not 4 in a tap tempo. So there's a problem in that I can't ever save BPM like this. So the only way to do it, that I know how to do it, is to use the HX Edit software. And I can show you how I can do that right now. I have a Mac, so guess what I have to have? A dongle. Thank you, Apple. So what we have here is the HX Edit HX Stomp. That's the device that's plugged in. I updated 2.8. I think there's a 2.81 right now, but I've heard a lot of people complaining on Facebook, so I haven't really checked that out yet. But as you can see here, I have a LA Studio compressor running into my Matchstick Channel 1, which is like a matchless amp, into a 2x12 matchless H30 cab, and then from there I go to an EQ. I'm using this EQ as a boost, so I've boosted the low gain, the high gain, and the overall level 3 dB. And so when I click that on, it takes my same amp tone and just boosts it a little louder. It gives it a little more gain. I haven't been super impressed yet with the drives, and maybe that's just my taste because I don't really use a lot of drives. I just like using boosts to drive my amp. And I can't wait to try this on my actual amp. I haven't run it through my amp yet. I'm excited to try that out. And then I have a delay. I think this is my really ambient reverb, cranked really high. So at the end of a song, I can just do some swells or in my chord, and then I click that on and it kind of carries it. And then I can go straight into swelling. You just make sure that you have your trails toggled on, because if you don't know what trails are, if your trails are off, you'll have this big washy sound. You click the pedal off and it immediately goes away. And so having trails on it, you have a big ambient sound, you click the pedal off, but the sound keeps trailing. Trails. And then next I have my room. I can't let you hear any of this because I don't have my guitar in my office and it's too heavy for me to carry on my own. Right now I'm having people carry, like literally hand me my guitar on Sundays because I'm not supposed to be picking it up. What I've done is I have this matchless amp that I like, set the drive how I like it. I like on the edge of breakup, as they say. Basically take this preset and I just copy and paste. Are you sure you want to overwrite highlighted preset? Yes, I am. And now you can see I have matchless JC1 because those are my initials and it's my first channel, my first amp setup. The other week we did Great Things by Phil Wickham, Jesus We Love You by Bethel, and There Is a Fountain by Everyone. And what I wanted to do was set my BPM per song, and I tried to do it in the live setting, and like I explained earlier, you can't do it. And so what you do is the BPM is set to 102, but originally when I copy and pasted, so let's do Great Things again. Originally when I copy and pasted, I had a new channel like this, my BPM was at 140. I need it to be at 102 for Great Things. So we're gonna make another Great Things patch. So I'm gonna click on it here, I'm gonna go up here and rename it Great Things, boom. So now it says Great Things. I've named it, and I'm creating a set. So then I want to go up here and change the BPM, and I'm clicking on it, and as you can see, this button is, I can't type in anything. It's a tap tempo again, the same problem that I had on the pedal. See, when you touch things move. It's the same problem you have on the pedal. It's a tap tempo, but I figured it out. Here's a secret. Make sure you're on your channel that you want. I know that Great Things is 102, and so if you hold Control on a Mac, hold Control on a Mac while clicking on it, as you can see it's highlighted. Now I can type in 102, enter, now my BPM is at 102, voila, magic. Now make sure you Command S to save, because I have noticed if you leave things and don't save it and come back to it, it's how it was before it was saved. That is how you make a preset, and that is also how you solve the BPM problem. One final reason I think the Stomp would be good for you is if you're a worship leader who mainly leads from acoustic, but is looking into and has desired to get into leading worship, or just fiddling around with getting into playing with an electric guitar and effects pedals, but are afraid to pull the trigger on a lot of valuable equipment to get some good sounds, the Stomp is a good segue into the world of effects pedals. I'm going to screen capture for us so we can see what's going on my desktop. Connecting. There it is. Snap.